and welcome to this live stream. It's September 11, 2024. And so today I'm going to talk a little bit about a tune that was requested, but I haven't made a video. You know, some of those, or pretty much all those melody type videos, take a good amount of production. So I thought I would take an opportunity here on the live streams to go over basic ideas on some tunes, and I may talk about other things today too, like music notation software and the survey that we have. Everybody, hopefully everybody had a chance to check that out. And I'll mention I'm streaming on mobile and desktop today. But Mercy, Mercy, Mercy is a tune by Joe Zawinul that was requested on the live stream maybe a week and a half ago or so. And I've decided that what I need to do here is create a spreadsheet of tune requests. And so in the chats today, please put in your tune request. You can put topics too. I think I'm going to have a column for topics and everything as well. But I thought I'd start out today by talking a little bit about perspective and practice and kind of intention, you know. So what a couple of things I would just recommend as you're playing is to play a note and just try to get a good sound to start with. See if you can get a nice solid sound. You can follow through with the pick if you use a pick on the next string. That's called appaiando in kind of the classical guitar world. You can do it with a finger like they would do it. Okay. Follow through on the next string and just kind of sing that song in your head, and then try to, this is something that kind of comes up as a, in my private teaching world is, I try to really help folks to not pass judgment on what they're doing on a personal level, but try to evaluate and critique, as objectively as you can as a kind of someone who practices the instrument. So, let's say you're going along here. Like, well, that doesn't sound great. But is it who or what doesn't sound good? Well, it's kind of like the guitar and the finger are not making it, not giving it the conditions, they say, to play a nice sound. So put a finger closer to the fret, or you could press a little harder, right? Or press light and have your finger close to the fret, which is kind of the ideal situation, right? And so, okay, so we evaluate, we say, okay, not good, but no personal, judgment on that. So you just say, okay, pluck, make it sound better, right? Pretty much a couple options there. Press harder or move closer to the fret. So, those are a few things. Start your practice session slow. See if you can connect with harmony. So I did a short the other day on the kind of tonic major and the bebop kind of thing. So just kind of I think about, the quality of each sound. Maybe do it with different feels, right? And work at just playing a good sound on the instrument. That's kind of my advice for kind of warming up and then playing the instrument. So done a lot of lessons where I've had folks just kind of just out loud criticizing themselves while playing, when should rather than taking it personally, just kind of see what's going on the instrument, what's going on with the playing that's causing the result that you don't like, right? And see if you can kind of fix it on that level. So trying to impart a little bit of some of my maybe not even my own personal perspectives on practice, but just maybe some inspiration, right? To just kind of practice, just do it and work at it, and not take it too personally. When things go wrong, just try to work at it and fix it. One thing I tell students is, like, let's say you're working on that line. So can you do it, maybe 5 times? Can you consistently play that thing? So a lot of times I think on guitar, and I'm sure I'm guilty of this, but we want to move on, move on to something else, keep the fingers moving around, so just to kind of stop and repeat something, play it a few times, try to absorb it, kind of deeply, you might say. So those are a few perspectives on warming up and playing. Let's see if I can get a slightly better angle on the mobile. See all of the guitar here. So warming up, and I have some plans to create some warm up PDFs and things. So those are kind of in the works. But if you've seen this channel before, chromatic things moving up the neck, maybe 2 fingers, 3 fingers, 4 fingers. But kind of go slow and see if you can kind of get a consistent tone, and then maybe work on accenting and all that. All right, well, I'm excited to get to this poll a little bit. I'm really happy that folks took the time to take the poll. So if you haven't already, check it out. It should be on the community tab of the channel. I have a hard time finding it myself. I keep, maybe just because I haven't really done this too much before, but let's see. My question was, what is your primary goal with learning jazz guitar? So we had 0% on improved technique. So we had 13% on learn jazz theory, 63% develop improvisational skills. Okay. And 6% play along with others, and 19% perform professionally. So those are results. So top result was develop improvisation skills. Okay, followed by perform professionally, learn jazz theory, and play along with others. So, all right, yeah. So that really helps me out tremendously for creating content on the channel. So I do appreciate your participation in that. All right, let's talk a little bit about this tune, Mercy, Mercy, Mercy. One of the first things you might want to consider is when the tune was written, when were some of the first recordings and that kind of thing. So I want to think about, let's say, maybe after the bebop period, we might call hard bop, maybe a slightly less complicated harmonic progressions, maybe choices of just triads start to really play a role, but there are many features. So check out hard bop. Do a search in Wikipedia. More gospel kind of influences. So this tune kind of falls into that. Right, you can hear we have, let me switch my screen here so be able to see a little bit better. And before I get too deep into this, I'm going to play some real kind of guitar. Well, I am playing guitar, so it makes sense, but I'm play some kind of guitar sort of voicings here. But a couple options, you could play this B flat major triad, E flat, second inversion, and then I'm playing this chord. Another option would be to play this chord, which has the root fifth and flat 7 versus the root third and flat 7. So experiment with these options. Versus, okay. So those are, maybe some little things that you can do. But at the beginning, maybe something like that. So kind of playing around with that B flat, E flat, and then the B flat kind of 7 sort of thing. I'll discuss a little bit on the melody here. So we've got a slide up. Okay. So really kind of if you know, let's say the pentatonic scale, you can use that a little bit as a framework. So this would be kind of major pentatonic. This might be a good place to just kind of anchor your fingers in and select some notes and then kind of sliding in. Right. So then you can kind of select it and maybe play a little bit by ear as you do that. So a lot of the first part of it is gonna give us something along those lines. So for accompaniment, just to review, we have the B flat, E flat, and the B flat 7. Okay, well, let's see. I'm going to talk a little bit about music notation software. So if you've seen some of the melody videos, the tablature that kind of plays along in time, that's all coming out of Finale, which I've used for a really long time. I've used, take a cup of tea here, a sip of tea here. But they just announced that they're ending the development of that program, and they're recommending the I think it's Steinberg Dorico, which I just tried out for the first time this morning. So I'm writing out another melody video on footprints, and I have some of the backing tracks going and stuff like that, and so I need to write out some things for the screen recording on that. And so checking out so far. I'm. It's a little early to say how I feel about it, but so far I'm pretty impressed. One thing about the tune is that it has this melody line or a segment of the melody that is kind of like five. Um, so having what would you say, quintuplet, sort of lined up quarter notes. I think that I would have, and I think I did try this a little bit in finale this morning, which is why I decided, oh, maybe I should just try that Dorico program. But so tried it out, and it's kind of right there in the menu. I'm not digging through settings and stuff. It's just five, like 5/4 or something like that, and it's just there. So that was really nice, because that's the thing that has really frustrated me about music notation software, is just that I'm on a Google search every time I try to do something, and it's just sort of strange that it couldn't be maybe a little more intuitive of an interface to just kind of make your way around. And I don't know, maybe it's just me. Let me know how you feel about Finale, and Sibelius and stuff. But seems like it's a little bit of a struggle for me anyway. This is a mug that one of my guitar students gave to me. The Beatles help, and he passed away earlier this year. I don't remember the exact date, but played at his wake, and my wife and I did that actually. I actually sang a few tunes, and I'm not a good singer, but I did a couple that I thought I'd be kind of comfortable on and respectful of the situation and everything. Anything that my wife kind of doesn't want to sing. I did some instrumental pieces as well. Chord melody, a lot of Beatles tunes, but I did a little bit of classical too. Speaking of which, though, the mug, I'm hoping to get some things going on a mug and a logo for the channel. So hopefully soon you'll see me sipping out of a Jim Ellis guitar lessons mug or something. I don't know what to do so far as a logo. Okay, well, before I talk a little bit more about Mercy, 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 maybe I'll talk a little bit about bebop scales. And since I've done a bit of a short on that, and I'm planning that I will probably do a minor version of that short. So if you haven't seen that already, check it out. YouTube Shorts. So the scales and bebop scales, 7-note scales, and perspectives on those, and advice for practicing scales. I think, again, I believe I've said this before. Think about what is your intention when you're practicing something. So if you're learning, the fingerings for the 5 shapes. When you play that, when you practice going through that, let me change my screen again. What are you hoping to gain there, and what is the intent of that? If you're trying to really burn that in to your mind's ear and your mind's eye, or spatial sense or pattern work, then that's a good place to be. If you're thinking of creating a line though, or a melody, you want to really be able to kind of skip around in that. You want to be able to select only a few notes from that. So that's why I mentioned in the shorts video that I did, just picking 5 notes, right? So let's say you're working in that. Let's say you work through that pattern I just played a few times, and you're kind of feeling secure in it. Then just say, okay, maybe pick a few notes, maybe 4 notes. And then I'm kind of moving in a certain sequence, but you can move around, pick a random note, right? And have your ear kind of react to that and everything. Okay, so we've got a comment here, Jonas Wang. Thanks for writing in. Let's see. Jonas says, I learned a lot from your lessons. Love your playing. Teaching is very concise and super helpful. Awesome. Thanks, Jonas. I'm glad to hear that. So that's awesome. I really appreciate it. Okay, so we're taking just a few notes. It could be 4 notes. 4 notes are really great especially for tunes where the harmony changes quite a lot, because you might have to adapt a little bit. Let's say your chord progression, something like Misty, but I'll do it like key of C. If you had a 1 chord and all of a sudden you have the 5 minor to all of a sudden C is a dominant 7 with a flat 9, and then you're going to the 4 chord, right? Then if you have, kind of some 4 note ideas, right? So maybe you can kind of hear some of the changes there. So I played, maybe 8 notes on C major, and then let this note go into the G minor. So because all of a sudden we have a B flat, right? So picking a few notes can help you adapt to chord changes and things like that. Alfonso writes in, Alfonso, breakfast. Excellent creative thoughts with scales. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. And that's the thing I think too that brings up a good point is to find creativity in your practice sessions, right? To see if you could hit something at a different angle, or think about something maybe slightly differently, or tear it apart, and just like taking a toy apart and seeing if you can put it back together and get it working again, or something like that. But just kind of playfulness with the music, and trying to gain some understanding of how notes tend to have a push and pull and gravitate to other notes and things. So I think another thing I mentioned in the short was to connect things with harmony. So if you're playing a few notes out of hear how those notes sound in the context of a certain chord, right? So pick a chord and work with it and see kind of how that sound operates, what gets delivered there. Okay, so we took a snippet of the melody, kind of on Mercy, Mercy. I'm going to go back to Mercy, Mercy, Mercy a little bit. We took a little look at a portion of the melody. We talked about how the pentatonic scale may help you to create a little bit of a note choice, narrow the note choices down a little bit. We talked a little bit about the chords at the beginning. Now we have this kind of trumpet alto line that we can mimic here. So we could play okay. So if we want to really kind of get into that thing and sort of mimic the sound of two voices, or if you have two guitars, you could have one playing this B flat, and then the other one playing this other note. So earlier I talked a little bit more maybe like a guitar perspective on it. So there I would, if you're kind of going for a guitar or even kind of keyboard sort of chordal sound, play something like this. With the B flat chord. So if you have a really big chord like this, one thing I'm doing here is just selecting like 3 of the notes out of the air. So, right, instead of this big chord, which is perfectly fine. I'm just playing a few notes out of it, and then just go E flat here. Right, just playing kind of 3-note chords. Then we have this kind of melody. Right, and again, knowing the major pentatonic, a lot of times guitarists will have a really good handle on the minor pentatonic, but in this case we use major pentatonic, and well, I guess maybe it's more than that, because we do have this E flat. So then you want to know, let's move into a more stepwise motion. So okay, so we're getting that E flat in there as well. So but the pentatonic won't necessarily apply on that particular part. Okay, so okay, some of these slides here, right? So you could take finger 1 here, and maybe take finger 3, kind of compress the fingers here a little bit, and just kind of scoop into it, sort of emulate that sound, going like that. Okay, so that gives us a little bit of that kind of scooping sound. Okay, and then here we get into this kind of we have a very connected sound between G and F, and then F is going to be short. So okay, so some of that articulation is going to be important to do, and that's one thing too about playing. Maybe you play with horns, maybe you play in unison with them. And if you ever kind of overhear their conversations with one another when it is about music, you'll hear a lot about articulation and how they're blending and they're kind of cutoff points. So I always really try to make an effort, especially if I'm playing melody, but also chords, because I play a lot of chords and in the as a guitarist. But I really make an effort to have my ear on how they are articulating when they're cutoff points. I try to remember that for the next time we play together, as well as just being really on it for that whole thing, to just really give the group a really nice, tight, together sound. So some of the short notes and some of the accents on this are going to be important. If you're looking to, let's say, play, and I'm gonna hang out here for a couple more minutes. But if you're looking to play some chords on that part, you can play G minor, okay. So again, here I'm taking some 3-note voicing. So if you had big old F chord here, 5th position, I'm just selecting these 3 notes out of it, and then playing these 3 notes, which would be the same as playing like these 3 notes of a G minor. So another option here would play up in that direction. Okay, everybody. Well, thanks so much for checking this out. Thanks for writing in the chat. I do appreciate it. The channel just passed the 10,000 subscriber mark, so pretty awesome. Really excited about that, and really excited to grow. So thanks for being a part of that. And I changed my little subscriber icon over here on the side. I might change that again. I used to have JE for Jim Ellis, but I just put this bright red subscribe button over here. I may change that up again as well, but anyway, so thanks for being a whole part of this. If you are watching this for the first time, please do subscribe and like and follow the channel. I'm planning to do more and more live streams as I get some things. There are some things I'm trying to work towards here on a technical audio level. So I hope to do some more playing and jamming with backing tracks in the future. So I look forward to creating a little more little entertaining kind of things in the live stream. So do follow with that if you can. All right, everybody. Thanks again. I'll see you all in the next one.